Hey, first of all, I want to give a huge thank you to everyone who showed up for the CD release show. There was a great turnout. Thank you so much to everyone who came, everyone who performed. There will be video from that show up on the YouTube channel soon, once I figure out the best way to edit it and see if I can tweak the sound and stuff with a few of them. So, this week's song is Trespasser. Really quick, I wanted to mention again that the song is currently featured in the soundtrack to True Neutral Productions' online horror RPG Coagulate. It's a tabletop RPG they've been streaming on Twitch at twitch.tv/True Neutral Productions. I'll have more links in the description to this video. It's a very cool game, a very cool story that they're telling, so definitely go check it out. Trespasser was not specifically written for Coagulate, but it definitely fits that whole theme of survival horror. The first thing I'll say about this song is that there's definitely some Silent Hill influence in there. I wrote this back in college when I was deep into playing the games, listening to the soundtracks to the Silent Hill games, and so it's definitely got that darker alt-rock, almost metal-y vibe to it. I believe the song actually started with the chords for the verse. I came up with that progression. At the time, I had been really, I find different just little things to challenge myself with my songwriting to try and develop it further. And in this case, I was trying to write songs that didn't necessarily start on the root chord or tonic chord of the key that I was playing in. Trespasser, for the music theory people, is an A minor, but the first chord starts on this E, basically. And even though I don't know if mathematically you can really say E is the furthest away from A you can start, I wanted to start really far away from the tonic chord of the key, the home chord, essentially. And I like the whole idea of it sort of creeping towards that home chord over the course of the riff. And that was sort of that musical theory, this idea of creeping towards the home chord gradually over the period of this whole riff, is sort of what influenced the idea of the story in the song, of someone who's trying to infiltrate some sort of place, and I've always imagined in the middle of the forest. I was much more focused on the images and the sort of atmosphere and vibe of the song than the actual literal story of it. So it's always been kind of vague, and I don't have too many issues with that. Again, I was more focused on the feel of the song than the actual literal meaning of it. But in a sense, the story of the song is someone is trying to infiltrate the premises of some, I've always imagined some rich person or someone who lives in a secluded place in the middle of the forest. Maybe the speaker is trying to steal something from them or get a handle on what's going on there, and they get caught. That's basically the story of the song. When it comes to the lyrics, again, I was more focused on even the sound of the words and the images that they conveyed than a literal meaning. These images of moonlight and starlight, taking a path through the woods, covering tracks, and then hearing a voice call out from the middle of the woods. One of the cool things that we were able to do with the studio version is we added those little sound effects, like the ambient noise at the beginning of the song with crickets, and then the dog whistle, which is probably my favorite sound effect in the song, provided by Andy Sudol, my sound engineer for the album. It really, I love that sort of stuff on albums. Anyone who knows me, Pink Floyd is my favorite band, and they did that sort of stuff all the time, adding sound effects to tell a story or create an atmosphere, and so I really had fun doing that with this song, adding the dog noises and the barking and the howling and that sort of stuff, just to ratchet up the tension a little bit more. So as you can probably guess, the song itself in a literal sense is fictional. I've never been in a situation that the speaker of the song is in. But when it comes to the chorus, I do feel like it actually gets at some sort of emotional truth that I didn't realize I was going to discover as I was writing the song. I can't remember specifically who it was, but I remember in college reading about a writer talking about the writing process is sort of like driving down a road in the middle of the night with your headlights on, and you can only see as far as your headlights show you, and so you sort of there's parts of the story that you know, and then there's the parts that you're discovering as you're doing it. And when it came to this song, I hit the chorus, and it's been a few years since I wrote the song, so I can't remember specifics of how the chorus came to be, but as I recall it, the phrases just sort of came very fluidly out of the story, this idea of someone calling out, and the word choice to me was very specific, just that you've no place to be here, not hey, you're not supposed to be here. The phrasing of it came to me very specifically that way. And when it came to the emotion of it, what I tend to think of when I hit that midpoint of that chorus, it's sort of that midpoint of the song, that first chorus that actually has lyrics. The emotion I feel there harkens back to things I felt a lot of times in my life of feeling like I'm in a place where I don't necessarily belong, like I've sort of infiltrated some group. I guess the simplest thing to reference is like imposter syndrome, the idea of like, oh, I'm a fraud, and people are going to find that out sometime at some point, and it's not going to go well. And I felt that in a lot of different contexts. I was always sort of someone who kept to himself, and I didn't really start hanging out with people until later in high school. And then when I did, for a variety of reasons, I always felt like I'm not like these people, and how long is it going to be before they realize that and decide that, oh, maybe we don't want him around. And I didn't necessarily know what would happen if they discovered that I was different or something, whatever it was I was afraid of. But it always made me a little nervous, and it always created a certain amount of distance between me and other people, even people I considered close friends. So even though the story of the song is pretty far removed from me having social anxiety in high school, I do see a connection there between the emotions, and this song almost worked as an exploration of that in a heightened dramatic setting. And I think that's about all I have to say about this song for now. Feel free to ask me more questions in the comments or message me elsewhere if you want to know more about the song. I can ramble about these songs until the cows come home, I'm sure. Thank you for watching. Thanks for listening. If you haven't checked out the album yet, it is available now on Bandcamp, iandoherty.bandcamp.com, and you can stream it all there and listen to it on there. Like I said before, I'll be trying to get the video from the CD release show up as soon as possible. Also, please let me know if you're enjoying these Songwriter videos. I'm enjoying doing them, but I'm not sure how many people are really interested in them, or if they're going on too long, or if there are things that I'm not hitting on that you wish I would hit on with these songs. So please, any feedback is greatly appreciated. Check back here next Tuesday for the next song in the series, Broke Down Car. Thanks again for watching.
Catch